morning to all of you. It's dot 11, and
Yeah.
we want to start a session. I mean, at least on time. We'll wait for a couple of more minutes so more and more participants can join. But meanwhile, Tiruppai, if you can give some brief about GESIA, what is all about, and why we are doing this all stuff, a basic thing, then I'll take it up.
Yeah, sure, Jaideep. Thank you all. Thank you for joining today's session. Thank you, Dubai and Pishbai, for some time. Basically, GESIA is an association, and we represent the ICT industry of the state of Gujarat. So, any firm engaged into information, communication, or technology industry, they can be part of this association. And GESIA registered under Section 8 Companies Act, and it's a not-for-profit body. So we must say that GESIA is an industry-led, industry-managed association. Thank you.
So at GESIA, we are doing lot many stuff. We Our core objective is to help all the member companies as well as community. It's not limited for members. So many things Team Geisha is doing is not also. For example, this roundtable. So that is not limited for member. That is open for all who are into IT communities. So the objective is how we can prosper together, grow together, and help each other in various ways, as well as being a leading organization. So Geisha deals with government and other bodies to help facilitate IT facilities in the state, as well as GESIA is also discussing with NASCOM, Government of Gujarat, and several other bodies to just have more proper infrastructure, more facilities for our companies who are based at Gujarat. For that, recent IT policy, so GESIA played a good role, help government to understand the problem of the industry, how we are growing and other things. So this is what we do at GESIA, and I guess that's it from my side. So Dhruv, if you can start a basic about your and Piyush background first, then by at least by 11:05 or something we can start presentation, actual presentation. So a brief about your and Piyush, how you end up with this kind of product and why you choose this kind of product. So we can start from that and then we come to cold emails, the actual presentation. And meanwhile, so that gives buffer to few more people will join us. Over to you, Dhruv. Dhruv, you are on mute.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, Tirubhai and Jaideep for giving us this opportunity to uh, share what we are good at. So basically, me and Piyush both are a product person. We have been into this uh, software product space since the very beginning of uh, our professional journey. So back in 2013, 14, we were into Android application building. We were building Android applications that solves the small use cases of the uh, user's problem. So that's how the small use cases, which is painful but smaller at a time, and we used to solve that and float it on the Android Play Store. So from there we started our journey, and then slowly and gradually we developed our product skills. We developed our interest into product building, software product building, and we built around a couple of like products before Sales ND. Since last 6 years we have been into Sales ND, and we have been building Sales ND. uh, yeah, this is a quick brief about how we came here. Starting from the beginning till now, we have been into product space, and we are still enjoying the product software product space. Uh, so if I share a little bit more about Piyush and me personally. Piyush and me both are co-founder of Sales and Piyush looks after the technological aspects, product aspect of the organization, while I focus more on the marketing, sales, and other business sides of the organization. So I hope this is a quick brief intro that helps you guys to understand the background of us. Piyush, if you would like to add something over here, if I missed out anything.
I think this is good to go.
Okay. And to give you a brief intro about Sales Handy, Sales Handy is a cold email outreach software for sales and marketing teams. If you really want to send one-to-one personalized emails at so many at once, you can do it with Sales Handy. That's the cold emailing basically.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Dhruv.
So
Thanks. Lovely
yeah,
introduction. And now we can start. So if you have any question, audience, so you just keep it with yourself. Once presentation is done, we'll take it the question. And I'll suggest many times it happens in a flow you forget the question. So I'll suggest if you jot it down somewhere in pen paper on your notepad or something. So then we can ask Dhruv and Piyush to help with the questions as well. So let's start.
yeah, yeah. Cool. So before we start and dive into the discussion, I would first want some introduction from the participants who are here, so that I can focus more on the areas that may help you more. So instead of making it as a presentation, let's make it a discussion. So quickly, if the participant who are here, if they can introduce themselves a bit about what a role, what industry they are into, what role, what function they are into specifically, that will help me uh, personalize the slides. That will help me focus more on what areas that might interest you, right? And I'll not bore you. I'll make sure that I do not bore you.
Through your video is little buffering. If you can stop video, so that will help.
Yeah, I'll stop the video. I
Yeah,
hope it is better now.
yeah, it is better.
So I was saying that if we can quickly have an introduction of the
Sure.
participants who are here.
So participants who want to go first,
Hey, hi
let
everyone. Good morning.
hi.
So I'm Shikha Bhudoria and I have been associated with Signet since past 6 months. Basically at Signet, I take care of the content creation part, be it for website, social media, and particularly for email. So I'm more involved in email marketing. And apart from this, I'm also involved in conducting events and taking care of other marketing activities.
Thank you, Shika.
Yeah, thanks, Sika.
I can see some familiar names as well. Viral, if you can. Anybody else? Hello.
Okay, assuming that most of the participants here must be from sales marketing teams, right? I'll make sure that I'll dive deeper into the cold email copy hacks more, right? Instead of putting more efforts on explaining the process or explaining the sales part of the entire process, right?
Hello everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Someone was introducing himself.
Yeah, please go ahead. Hello. Tirup, was that you or anybody else?
Hello everyone. Myself Ishan. Am I
Yeah,
audible?
please. Yeah, you are audible. Please.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, I'm digital marketing manager at Dev IT Limited, and managing all the content creation activities, basically content positioning activities here at DYT. So I'm more interested in basically this cold email hack for sales guy and marketing guy, and looking forward to it.
Perfect, Ishan.
Thanks, Ishan.
Well,
So
So
Dhruv, let's start.
let's start with the presentation that I have prepared for you. About how did we started sales and e. So a few years back, I and Piyush read this book named Predictable Revenue, written by Aaron Ross and Trailer. This book helped us realize the power of cold emailing and how cold emailing is a crucial part of sales, especially in this era of selling and in this era of scaling by selling, right? So since then, we have been building sales and a cold emailing solution that helps sales and marketing teams build their business, grow their business. So it's been 6 years almost. We have been in this space, in this hot space of sending cold emails, and in the next 40-50 minutes, I'll share my learnings around cold emailing, what I've experienced, what we all in the organization have experienced in last 6 years of this journey of sales and E. And I'll cover mostly the process framework, how a sales can be generated, how a repeatable and scalable revenue can be generated using cold emails. Then I'll take on to the best practices to follow while sending the cold emails, and some vital mistakes that one should avoid to make. And lastly, we can move on to the question and answer from your side, and we can discuss more about each of the slides if you wish to. Right. Taking it forward, let's start with process framework. So the process is generally divided into three parts. Uh, the image over here is from, again, the predictable revenue book. It is very popular image. If someone, if someone says that cold emailing 10 years back is a is a is a basically cold emailing is basically a tedious, expensive, right? So back then, when there was no such cold emailing itself was a cold calling process itself was the only thing which most of the companies followed. And when it comes to cold calling, it takes thousands of calls to get one or two or maybe 5 6 potential interested clients, right? So in this specific book, Predictable Revenue, there is this process of cold calling 2. Basically makes this cold calling process a simple, scalable, and repeatable. And using this, you can, or any company can scale. Any company can make a repeatable and scalable sales process. So I'll brief you about this graph which is over here. So in the first part, it says that in the first part, which is prepare, it says that first thing is that you need to define your ideal customer profile. Once you have defined the ideal customer profile, you have to find out the email addresses of those prospects, potential clients. And once you find out this prospect, you actually get into the prospecting phase. And unlike the cold calling 1.0, in cold calling 2.0, it says that prospecting phase is starting from the cold email and not directly from cold calling. So you'll be first sending cold emails, and using those cold emails, you will cut down the number of efforts that you'll be making in calling each of these prospects, right? So second most important part is to send cold emails. get higher response rates, and then getting those prospects on call conversations or meetings. And once this prospecting phase gets over, the sales cycle comes into the pace. So basically the process framework over here is to first identify the ideal customer profile, then finding out the leads, finding out the prospects and their email addresses, sending them the emails, and then getting replies out of those emails, and then automating this entire process. So this is basically the overall framework that will help any IT company or any other industry to generate more sales and repeatably. Taking on to the next part, I'll brief you about each of these steps, and I'll focus more on the later part, that is prospecting part, wherein how to get more response rate. I'll put more efforts in explaining you or sharing with you the hacks to get more response rates. I'll quickly take you through the first two uh, steps in this particular framework, that is ICP and finding the prospects. So in order to define the ideal customer profiles, it is a simple process wherein you can ask yourself these questions to identify who actually are your customer profile, who actually are your ideal customers, who can be your ideal customer profile. So you can simply go through your current customer base and ask yourself this question, that what is the average employee size of my current customers? Are there any specific vertical or any specific industry vertical that my customers are from, existing customers are from? Check out the similarities of industry between your existing customer. You can look for the regions, what region your existing customer comes from, and all such questions you can ask, and you can look into your current customer database or customer base, and with the help of these questions you will be able to frame uh, a, a kind of an ideal profile for your customer, wherein you can mark out, for example, in this slide I've added a screenshot of an ICP created for a specific organization. So over here industry is targeted as SaaS, employee size is 1 and 250. Mostly the companies located in San Francisco are the target audience, and companies founded in 2015, Series A funding. All these kind of attributes you can look for from your existing customer base, and then write it down there, so that you can niche down your efforts. You can focus your efforts at the right kind of audience. On top of ICPs, there is one more thing that will help you in niching your efforts, is defining your buyer's persona. So buyer's persona is basically something something which is more on towards the buyer, not in company or organization. So ideal customer profile is the attributes of the organization, while buyer's persona is the attributes of the person who is going to take the decision. So uh, niche down the persona, niche down the taste DNA of the buyers that you are going to target, and that is actually going to be your customers. Once you have done that, maybe this entire exercise looks like this. So this is an example of sales and is buyers persona and ICP, wherein we have mentioned industry, what kind of daily job that person does, what is the responsibility, and what kind of pain points that person is looking forward to solve. So this exercise is very important to do, because if you are writing, if you are sending cold emails, or if you are looking forward to uh, put efforts into cold emails, you have to niche down your efforts instead of targeting so many people. So this is something that we have created. You can look forward to create something like this for your own business. Once you have done that, the next step that comes into is finding the prospect and their email addresses, right? So most of the companies I have seen that makes this common mistake of choosing wrong way of finding the email addresses. many companies out there who like out there looking forward to send cold emails or do this email cold emailing as a sales technique. They generally fall into this wrong, not recommended ways of collecting email addresses. That is by maybe scraping the web or maybe buying the list from the third parties or buying a list from the internet. This kind of method generally gives you the high quantity of leads, but the quality of leads are literally not that high, and it will not help you in this particular technique of cold emailing and generating sales through cold emailing. Right. So if you are really looking forward to generate good meetings out of your cold emails, uh, web scraping buying list is not at all recommended. Instead, you should focus on finding the leads, finding the prospects from the ideal customer profile and buyer's persona that we have created. And in order to do that, we have seen that there are so many tools these days available out there, right? So you can use the database tools available out there like LinkedIn Sales Navigator or Zoom Info or Uplead or maybe Lucia, Prospect.io. There are many such softwares tools available out there using which you can find out the ideal customers, ideal prospects, and you can make sure that you are not sending emails to irrelevant people, and then later on it again harms your entire cold emailing activity. So it is recommended to use this email finding tools and databases instead of web scraping and buying lists from internet if you are doing cold emails. And on top of that, if you really want to start very early, very quick, you can simply go on and use tools like Sales and Connect and other LinkedIn email finding tools, which quickly helps you find email addresses from the LinkedIn profile. So it is as simple as that. You go and search for the uh, ideal industry, ideal customer, ideal title of the persona, and you find out the email addresses of them and start sending cold emails. So Sales and Connect can help you in finding the email addresses easily. Once you have find out the email addresses that you want to send cold emails to, you can now the next biggest thing is that you have to find out you have to make sure find out a way to get a good open and reply rate. The most important step, the most crucial step in this entire process of getting more sales, more meetings booked by cold emails is to get reply rates. If you are sending cold emails and not getting enough replies, I'm sure you'll not be you'll not be able to make a one step in this process. So this is the most crucial thing that one should really look forward to and optimize the entire process to get more replies. And there is nothing to worry over here. We have seen that many of our accounts get 50, 60, 30% of 50 to 60% of open rates and 20 to 30% of reply rates also. So I have taken a screenshot of one of my account wherein you can see uh, we are getting more than 50 60% of open rate, and we are generating more than 10 20% of reply rate for each of the sequences, if each of the cold email sequence that we are sending out. So, there is nothing to worry about it. We can do it easily if we follow the right practices, if we follow the right things to do, and if we avoid the things that which are not recommended. Uh, so basically, whenever the companies start sending cold emails for booking meetings, getting the meetings booked or sales done, uh, they either make this mistake of reaching out to the small number of prospects or not following the entire process. So let me give you a brief about how it works. So assume that there is a one sales representative in an organization who is just finding out 40 targeted prospects per day, uh, from the ICP, from the buyer's persona that the company has decided. That person, that sales representative, has to find just 40 targeted prospects a day, and that will result into around 1,000 prospects a month. If these are the targeted prospects, targeted customers, targeted accounts which the company has decided, and if the email cold emailing practices are rightly followed, and if they can get up to 20%, 18 to 20% of reply rate, easily around 50 50 to 30 meetings can be generated, right? Easily this entire conversion rate uh, that we have observed in our accounts, easily one can generate around 30 meetings, one prospect can generate around, one sales rep can generate around 30 meetings. And uh, assuming that these 30 meetings results into 4 to 5 deals closed in a month, a company can really generate a repeatable, a scalable revenue method which doesn't require any other efforts. A single sales representative can take it up end to end, right? So the process is very much proven. Many of the companies has been following this to generate sales. Even at Sales and we really follow the same process to generate the sales at Sales and the book Predictable Revenue itself is all about this process of cold calling 2.0, wherein you are first outreaching via cold emailing, and then uh, you are cutting out the efforts and focusing more on the prospects which are quality, which are interested in your business. So this is proven technique. Let's learn how to let's learn how to make sure that cold emails that you send are being opened and being replied by the recipients to whom you are sending the emails. So in order to get the desired result, that is 18-20% of reply rate, I would say that these are the three main things: writing a good email copy, making a timely and a nice follow-ups, and the sending settings that you are using, how you are sending these emails. These are the three main things which will affect your entire process, which will affect your cold email sequence campaign that you are running. And based on this, you can, like, if you have set these things right, you can obviously get good open and reply rates out of your sequence. So let's move on to the each of this major pointers over here to to learn how to get more replies out of the sequence, right? um, so first thing is to optimize your cold email copy, and here are some of the best practices that one should follow to get maximum open rate and maximum reply rate. And in order to get that, here are some of the best practices to uh, write a perfect email copy for your cold email, right? So first thing is to personalize your subject line, then to make sure that your email looks like a personally sent email. It should make a feeling of, it should give a feeling of one-to-one email, not a one-to-many email. Then the email copy should have one goal, one call to action, and it should not be bloated with too many questions, too many links to click. Then fourth most important thing is to make your email copy perfect is to A/B test as much as possible. I'll show you some of the examples. I'll take you through some of the best practices and give you examples of each of these pointers in the coming slides. So if you really want a potential customers of yours to read your email, you'll really need a attention grabbing subject lines. You'll need subject lines that hook your prospects, that hook your prospects to see your emails, that to open your email. And in order to do that, uh, you can simply you can do that by asking a question on the subject line. You can put the prospect's name in the subject line to make it more personalized. You can add maybe benefits right away into the subject line, and maybe you can add call to action directly into the subject line. So whatever, keep experimenting these things, and whatever best gives you that gives you the results to uh, best gives you the good open rate will be the personalize at as much as you can to get the best open rates. And maybe you can ask some of the questions like uh, is my subject line more clear? Will this subject line make my reader more curious about it? Is my subject line giving the feeling of urgency? Ask these questions to yourself to land on to the right subject line for your cold email. So in order, a summary of this entire thing, bottom line is the subject line has to be snappy, that hooks. It has to be small and relatable to what exactly you are going to pitch and to whom you are pitching. And if I add a quick growth hack over here, the subject line in the subject line, if you really use the emoji in the right way, it can definitely give you the more open rate. You can see some of the examples over here. These are the screenshot of subject lines that I've taken from my mailbox, wherein people have used emojis nicely to grab the attention. In the first example itself, you can see the emoji of money bag used over there, then a handshake emoji. So it will make the recipient, it will give the recipient feeling of personalization, one-to-one email conversation happening. So these are some of the examples of subject line. Once you get a proper subject line, once you are creating the proper personalized subject line, it will help you get better open rates. Let's now dive deeper into the email body. How should an email body look like? So uh, even though, like, there are you can find out many cold email templates out there on the internet, right? So even though if you are using templates, you should try to make your email look personal. While creating a copy for cold email outreach, you should really use merge tags as much as possible. You should try to personalize the email copies as much as possible. And one thing is that try to avoid using any HTML designs. Instead, make your email look uh, a real email written by yourself, sent by a real person to the another person. Make it as simple as possible. Avoid any fancy HTML designs. Instead, try to make it as simple as it looks like over here, right? So you can use, if you are sending bulk cold emails out of tools like Sales ID, you can use merge tags. You can use the placeholders that will help you send many email at once, though it will be personalized and it will give you better open rates, right? So the summary over here is that anything that look and feel uh, one to many communication will significantly give you a lower open rate, lower response rate. And anything which feels one to one, a very personal kind of an email send out to me, will surely get you a more reply rate and higher replies in your cold email. So try to make it simple, personal as much as possible. Avoid HTMLs. This is something that you should not miss on if you are sending cold emails. Up next, make sure make sure that your cold email copy is having just one goal, one CTA. If you are having too many questions, too many goals, or too many CTAs in your cold email copy, you will be overwhelming your recipients with too many choices. Avoid doing that. Instead, make it super easy for them to respond. Make it very clear for them what they should do as a next step. They should be super clear about what they should do as a next step. What you are expecting out of the email that you are receiving, right? Email that you are sending to your prospects. Prospect must be very much clear about your intention. And I have mentioned, I've shared some of the examples, right examples over here, what it should look like. So if you will see the email over here, it is simply giving an introduction of what exactly the company is, how that lady found me and found Sales Handy, for what she is reaching out to me, and a simple last call to action, one call to action, that is like, would you be open to learning XXX skills that he is selling, right? So if we see some of the other marketing side used examples, so here is another example of an cold email which I received for kind of an backlink exchange, or maybe a guest post exchange. So again, over here you can see that it's simple, plain text, and there is no too much of questions or links attached. It is simple cold email which asks one, which is having just one CTA, that is, uh, would you want to receive a well written article from us? Like, there can be only one answer of this, either yes or no, right? So try to keep it this simple, wherein your recipients do not need to think so much about what to reply, right? Let's try not to confuse them. I have one more copy of a good cold email with just one CTA. Over here you can see that the email is just asking for a quick introductory call, 30-minute introductory call. Also, the email is specifying that upcoming Monday or Tuesday. So you can see that how personal it looks when someone sends me email on Wednesday and ask for a meeting or quick introductory call next Monday or Tuesday, right? So try to make it this simple. Try to make your uh, call to action as simple as possible, and try not to blot your cold emails with too many goals, too many expectations from the recipient. Once you have set this entire copy, the next most important thing is to optimize. If you are not optimizing your copy, if you are not A/B testing your copy, you will not be able to lend that email copy which is going to work for you. So you have to always measure the open rates and response rates of each of the email copy that you have created, and that's the only way to figure out what truly works for your target audience, right? So keep testing different variants of the email, different subject lines, different maybe you can try a different approach altogether in pitching your product or pitching your idea. Try different type of call to actions, and do this all A/B testing to find out what is best, what is working best for your case. And if you are using tools like Sales Handy, you can simply create two versions of your cold email, and you can send it out and you can taste. So these are the four key steps to write out to bring out your cold email copy, best cold email copy. And additionally, if I share a bonus tip over here, you can choose to customize the pre-header text also. Generally, if you are writing emails from your Gmail account or from your Outlook account, you may not find an option to customize your pre-header text. Pre-header texts are generally taken default by the email service providers, but we can choose to customize the pre-header text to grab the recipient's attention, and this will help you get more open rate, slightly more open rate. Here's one example that I mentioned in the screenshot, wherein the black color text is the subject line, and there's a supportive grayish colored pre-header text which is personalized, which is written customized, written to make sure that I open the email to increase the open rate. So uh, again, in one-to-one emails that you send from your Gmail, you will not see the option to customize the pre-header. But if you are using Sales ND, you can do it while creating your cold email copy, right? So in Sales ND, you get an option to customize your pre-header text, and even you can use merge text to make it more personalized, and you can experiment around personalizing the pre-header text also. So all of these activities will help you get more open rates, will help you get more reply from your prospects, from your prospects whom you are reaching out, and will make you successful at cold emails that you are sending. Uh, in all, these were all the best practices that you should follow to get best email copy, cold email copy for your next cold email campaign. Uh, there are many other things that you should avoid while writing the cold email copy, which I have listed down over here. A few of things are that you should really avoid writing clickbaits kind of lines in your subject line. So according to a study that I was, while preparing this presentation, I came across a study wherein it was mentioned that 69% of spam reports are registered by the prospects, by the recipients, without seeing the email body. They look for they simply check the subject line, and they simply find this kind of clickbaits, or they kind of find a doubtful kind of an email from an unsolicited prospect or unsolicited person, and they straight away marked as spam. And this results into a very bad impression of your brand, as well as the domain that you are using to send the cold email. So make sure that you are avoiding any kind of clickbaity subject lines while sending the next cold email. Try to avoid using too many links in your cold emails. As mentioned in the previous slides, try to focus on one call to action. The more links you will be using, the more you will be distracting your prospects. In fact, uh, we have seen that when someone uses more than three links in an email copy, it really harms the deliverability. It really harms the open rate also, because of the deliverability. So especially when you are sending cold emails through cold email softwares, and you are keeping your cold link tracking enabled, try to make sure that you are having lesser number of links in your email copy, and consider that you will have signature, you will have links in your signature. So including your signature, try to keep less than three links in your entire email, including signature. So lesser the links, higher the deliverability. Also, if you are really sending cold emails, one thing that I would advise is not to use the naked URLs. Instead, anchor the URLs that you are sending out to your prospects. And again, we have seen that naked URLs are the result of a lower deliverability rates. Many times it happens that user has blotted the entire email with this naked URLs, and which results into the uh, lower deliverability of the email campaign. You must have seen many of these hyper personalized emails coming to you. There are many startups around this which personalizes the videos and images, and you can use the first name in the image and you can send the cold emails. But the core of the cold emailing is to get better delivery and reply rates. So in order to get a good reply rate, avoid using this kind of images into the emails. Try to have a lighter image. Try to have a lighter email without any image or video, and that will surely increase the chances of emails to land into the primary mailbox and not into the promotion mailbox. So if you are using this kind of images, more of images in the email copy, the chances are high that emails will not land into the primary box. Uh, Next is avoid using this old technique of adding RE before your cold email. Generally, people uses this kind of technique to confuse the recipient and get higher open rate. This is not at all advisable. So don't try to pretend as if you are sending second or third follow up in the first email itself. This technique will give you the negative impression. Um, these days, the the cold email these days the email service providers or the email clients that you have been using, such as Gmail or Outlook, the spam filters are designed by them in a nice way to remove junk out of your own inbox, right? So sometimes this spam filters will uh, remove your valuable emails also. If you are sending cold emails to your customers, if you have not taken care of this spammy triggery words, then your own valuable emails will also land into the uh, spam, just because of this spam filters of email service providers. So try to avoid these kind of spam trigger words in your email copy. uh, and if you are using Sales ID, you can simply like Sales ID will come handy for you, wherein it will simply list down all the number of occurrences of the spammy words that you have used in your email copy in the editor email editor itself. So try to avoid the spammy keywords in your email copy. You must have seen such kind of emails coming into your mailbox. It's kind of look this kind of emails with multiple font sizes, different style and colors. Again, it gives a feeling of marketing emails sent to many people at once, not a personalized one. So try to avoid this kind of multiple font style, size, colors, and instead keep it as simple as possible. One text style, one font size, and a simple black colored font to get the best result out of your cold email. The next thing that you should avoid is a lengthy email. The lengthier the email, lower the response rate you will get. So it should be short, and by that I mean it should be around 2 to 5 sentences, not more than 200 words in total. And it is suggested to keep your entire cold email copy less than 120, 130 words. That's the optimal size of the cold email. So uh, try to keep your cold email less than 120, 130 words, and I believe that's the enough words to spark someone's interest and start a conversation. So yeah, so apart from this, whenever you are sending cold emails, whenever you are writing cold email copy or sending cold emails, try to avoid sending it on the weekends, non-office hours, because this matters a lot. Generally, it has seen that Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best days to send cold emails, and that gives the best open and reply rates. While Mondays and Fridays are not the best, but those are also the days that you can give it a try. Sundays and Saturdays are really not worth trying because those days are the least. Those days gives the least open and reply rates. Again, you can keep experimenting between Tuesdays, Monday, Thursdays, and those weekdays, and you can keep experimenting the time uh, based on the prospects to whom you are reaching out to. Again, over here, if you are using Sales and it comes handy when it comes to time and day you want to send cold emails. You can set schedule as per your need. Sales and will itself maintain the window of sending emails. It will not let your emails go in a wrong time to your prospects. So you can, if you are reaching out to the prospects in US, you can select the time zone and you can set the once you have written down the great email copies, the next most important thing is to make follow-ups. Follow-ups are the most important step in this entire practice. So uh, once if you are writing a great email copy, if you are sending it in a right time, following all the practice, but if you are missing on to make enough follow-ups, make right kind of follow-ups with the right interval and right way, you'll lose the chance of increasing your reply rate. So I have mentioned some of the hacks, some of the analogies in the next slides to increase the response rates using the follow-up techniques, follow-up email techniques. So let's dive deeper into each of this. So there has been some studies which have there has been some studies, and also we have been observing that our email accounts, our cold emails that we send generally see the good number of response rate after 7th and 10th follow-ups. Also after third, fourth follow-up emails, generally the follow-up after this many follow-ups, we see that good number of replies starts coming into, because it gives the feeling of personalization. It makes the recipients think that the person is super interested in him. So higher the frequency of follow-ups, the better the reply rate you will get. And when it comes to interval between two follow-ups, it should not be too close. You should respect your recipient's inbox. If you are making too many uh, back-to-back emails, if you are writing too many follow-up emails back-to-back, that may result into recipient marking your email as a spam email, right? So instead of sending too many emails at once, try to send uh, email with a gap of 2 days in the first email, then 4 days, then slowly and gradually increase the gap between two emails, two follow-up emails, and you can follow this particular sequence style which I shared in the screenshot. Generally, most of the prospects, and we also recommend to keep this much of interval between two follow-ups. Again, when it comes to follow-up, try to personalize your follow-ups in email as well. This will increase the chance of getting more responses instead of just writing few lines and simply saying that checking in if you have received my previous email. Instead of just keeping your follow-ups plain simple one, try to personalize it and try to make it relatable to the previous emails that you have sent. It will help you get better open rates. um, Try to send the follow-ups into the same threads so that the recipient can see that you have been chasing your previous email. It's not the new email that you are sending. So try to make sure that you are following up real, and you are sending the emails, follow-up emails in the same thread. Again, if you are using Sales NE, this kind of Sales NE comes handy for this kind of things. Whatever follow-ups that you are setting up in Sales NE will be landing to your prospect's mailbox like this only, in the same thread, instead of starting a new thread. And it will obviously help you get better response rate and better open rate altogether. Again, like you can automate this entire follow-up sequences to make sure that your follow-ups are timely and you are not missing on to any of the follow-up. You are not missing on to taking any of the follow-ups. Um, Once you have set this entire sequence, once you have set the follow-up emails, you have created the good follow-up email copy. Uh, Now comes the most important stuff is using which using which email addresses you are sending this emails, right? Using what tool you are sending this email, what are the sending settings. So this is the most this is the this is the really impactful thing that will help you get more open rates, and you should look forward to optimize this settings also. So I'll take you through some of the technical non-technical things when it comes to sending settings that you should look forward to. So first thing is that if you are sending cold email outreaches for your sales outreach, then you should avoid sending it from your own Gmail mailbox. Instead of that, you should look forward to use the business domain. And again, business domain, you should try to use the secondary business domain instead of the primary one. For example, if I'm sending cold email outreach for salesany.com, and if I want to pitch salesany.com, then instead of sending emails from salesany.com, I should create a secondary domain, secondary email addresses from the another domain, which is saleshandyteam.com or maybe saleshandymails.com, so that in case if users are marking your email spam or maybe your code email copy is not working, then in that case you will not be losing your reputation of the primary domain. And this is the advisable stuff to use the secondary business domain instead of the primary business domain for the cold email outreaches that you send. Again, avoid using Gmail. Instead, prefer G Suite or Office 365. These are the most commonly used email service providers for the cold emails. Once you have set up your business domains and email account, you need to set up few technical stuffs, that is sender policy framework, SPF records, DMARC records. Whenever you are sending cold emails, whenever you are writing bulk emails or sending cold emails out of the cold email software, just make sure that you are having this right configuration in place. And if you are not, then again the emails will start landing into spam box. Emails will start falling into promotions tab. So make sure that you have set up this records in your DNS properly to get a good open rate, to get a good reply rate, and a good delivery altogether. Again, when it comes to configurations, there are few other things like custom tracking domain. So if you are tracking the links in the cold email that you are sending, avoid using like avoid if you are sending from cold email softwares like sales any, then and if you are tracking the links, if links are being clicked by the recipients or not, then try to use the custom tracking domains of your own to get better results. And do not let the uh, sending software to use their own links, trackable links, because maybe you will get trapped by this you will get filtered by this spammy filtering mechanism of Gmail or Outlook. Instead, you should use your own custom tracking domain if you are enabling the tracking. Um, then again, if you are really sending cold emails out of your own mailbox, and then in that case, it is advisable not to send more than 500 emails a day if you are using a G Suite account, and if it is old enough, if your email account is very much new, then avoid sending too many emails at once. Instead, slowly and gradually increase your sending. So it is literally not advisable to send too many emails from your personal mailbox. It will give you a give the it will give the signal to the uh, email clients that this person has been sending too many emails and too many marketing emails, and hence in the long run your email delivery get hampered. So better to limit your sending from one email account to less than 500 email in case if you are using G Suite, and in case if you are using Office 365, then avoid sending more than 800 emails from one email account in a day. And in case if you want to send more than this many emails, then you can maybe connect multiple email accounts, and you can send more emails from different email accounts. Again, if you are just starting out with the process, I'm sure you are, and if you are setting up the secondary business domain, your email account will be new. So in that case, there'll be a need of email warm up. You have to warm up your newly purchased domain, and the warm up is a process to give signals to email clients that this domain has been doing genuine one-to-one email activity. So in order to make sure that you are getting good reply rate instead of good open rate and deliverability, you should instead of sending too many emails from day one, you should slowly and gradually increase your sending process, and you should warm up your email account before uh, sending too many emails from day one. So you can start using your newly created email account in day-to-day transactional emails, or you can maybe start exchanging emails with your colleagues internal stuff, or you can maybe use the external email warm-up services that are available these days. Even Sales and also helps you warm up your newly purchased domain or newly purchased email account. So you can warm up and make sure that email account that you are using for cold email is ready to send the cold emails, too many emails at once. So this is basically the three most important things when you are sending cold emails. First is getting the right cold email copy. Then once you have written down the great copy, you have to set up a right follow-ups, and you have to automate your follow-ups so that you are getting good responses from your cold email outreach. And lastly, you have to make sure that the sending settings that you have is properly configured and it's in a right way so that you are able to generate best out of the activities that you are performing. So I believe, yeah, this is in all a total number of things that you should take care before sending cold email outreaches for your next sales campaign. I hope that you have found out this insightful, and you have received some of the good hacks also from the previous slides and the entire conversation. If you have any questions, let's
So,
start.
through
I can see that many.
let me tell you.
Yeah, I can see that many have sent the questions through the link which is attached over there. So I'll start answering each of the questions that you have shared. Rushik has shared that can we get a copy of your presentation? Yeah, sure, Rushik. We'll be sharing the copy of the presentation. Someone has asked that anonymously. Someone has asked that our sales and have drip campaign marketing feature. Uh, if you can really explain this question in deep, I'll surely help you understand what kind of drip campaign you want to send. Someone has asked how many follow-up emails one should send. So to get the maximum possible reply rate, one should send at least 5 to 6 follow-ups. If you are sending more than 6 follow-ups, then make sure that you are making it relevant for your recipient and you are not harming his interest, you are not bloating his mailbox. If you are sending too many follow-ups, more than 7 or 10 in a very short period of time, the chances are that uh, the recipient may mark your email as a spam. So better to send 4 to 5 or 6 follow-up emails maximum in a good enough time, and with that uh, you maintain the relevancy of the follow-up emails also. You respect the recipient's mailbox also if you are doing the cold emailing. So the answer is to keep it between uh, 4 to 5, 5 or 6 maximum number of follow-ups in the email copy that you are sending. I see this many questions. Is there any other questions that you have and you want to know from me? I would love to answer.
Feel
Dhruv,
free to unmute yourself and ask, please.
Dhruv, one
Yeah, go
question I
ahead.
have is like, which is the best SMTP server provider? Because we use Elastic, we use SendGrid or something, but what happens is like when we sending an email, right? It is by default adding their tracking link, and we don't want. So, is there any preferred SMTP server provider from your experience?
So in case of cold emails, uh, generally I do not recommend using SMTPs. The reason is uh, SMTPs are mostly used for sending bulk emails. So if you'll check Sandy or any other AWS or any other bulk sending SMTP providers, then chances are high that those are being marked as promotional kind of emails by the email clients, the recipient's email clients, for mostly the Gmail. So Gmail considers those commonly used sending methods or sending tools, SMTP tools, as a promotional emails. So if you really want to get a good open rate and good reply rate, and if you want your emails to be landing into the uh, primary mailbox, it is advisable to use either Office 365 or G Suite. But in case if you don't have any, or if you really want to send SMTP, then you can go for any, and make sure that you are setting up the records properly, which I mentioned. You are setting up the DMARC and SPF and custom domain settings properly, so that emails are not considered as a marketing email.
I understand, but like if we have more than 5,000 customer, right? And if we new products has been updates or something, and I don't think so it's possible for this kind of tools to use to send an email, because if he wants to send a 5,000 emails a day to existing customer base, there is a limitation with the Gmail and Office, right?
Yeah. So in that case, you can go forward with SendGrid or maybe Amazon SES, uh,
Mhm.
or maybe some of the popular ones. Uh, but make sure that you are having this proper configuration done.
Mhm. And what's your advice in terms of like uh, Gmail or Outlook will not consider the email as in spam? Is there any basic tactics which we have to follow in the email content or something?
Yeah. So as I shared in the previous slides, it has to be personalized. The email that you are sending uh, must not uh, contain too many links, or must not have too much of HTML things. So all of this techniques that I shared in the previous slides, if you are following that correctly, then I'm sure the emails will not be considered as marketing emails, and it will be considered as the one-to-one email. And the chances will be higher that your emails are not landing into the promotional or spam box.
Okay, and are they considering the domain reputation too? While
Yeah, absolutely.
if yeah.
Yes, domain reputation, as it is very much considered by uh, email clients. So what they see is that if this specific domain has been sending too many marketing emails, they'll start considering those kind of, start considering the emails coming from those domains as a marketing emails. So it is advisable that whenever you are sending out cold emails or whenever you are sending out marketing emails, you you use the alternate or secondary domain, and you are not using the primary
Got it.
domain that you have.
That's a good advice. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Rahul. Anybody else? I
So out of
guess
Outlook and G Suite, which one you prefer? Like which is less strict and better delivery?
Uh, Office 365 Outlook that you shared is generally recommended by us, because we have seen that many of our customers are getting good enough, like getting better open rates and better reply rates. Also, they can send more emails compared to G Suite when it comes to Office 365. So we personally recommend Office 365 over G Suite, but it's just there's no big difference between both of them, but it's just about the number of emails that you send from Office 365 is a little bit higher. It allows more emails to be sent, while G Suite restricts you to send less number of emails a day. And again, we have observed, personally, I have observed that Office 365 uh, gives the better delivery and gives the good open rate also.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
yeah, thanks, thanks,
Hello.
Rahul.
Just I
Yeah,
have one question. So, is there any particular region-wise detail? I mean, do we need to require? Let's say we're targeting the US market, or we are targeting the European market, or we are targeting the Middle East, right? So, is there any specific content, or specific rules, or anything for with the US culture? We like this thing. So, this is something we have to use.
Okay. So if I understood your questions right, you are asking that if you are sending the email to specific region, for example, maybe Arabian countries or maybe Western countries like Europe or US specifically. So in that case, there is no specific. I mean, you should obviously follow the culture
So,
advices.
let's say, guys, let's target the Netherlands market. So, do we need? Okay. So, what is the guide? I mean, do we have any detail about the culture?
Sorry,
Detail, I
Amit,
mean, to help the
I'm not.
Amit, your
getting
voice
the
is
more positive
breaking
response
too
rate.
much, and we are not able to understand.
Actually, I'm traveling. That's why.
Oh, I see, I see.
Is that okay now? Is that okay now?
Y- Yeah, it's better.
So my question is, do we have any particular for targeting the
Amit, I'll advise you just drop an email to Dhruv or tweet him. I mean,
hello? Am I
because
audible now?
yeah, it is.
So, if I have understood it right, let me try to answer this question. So, in case if you are sending it to specific geography, just make sure that you are not sending out of their time zone, and you are sending it in the office hours of that particular time zone. And you can avoid sending it on a specifically weekends based on the location that you are sending. So for UAE, generally Fridays are also considered as weekends. So avoid sending on Fridays to get better delivery, better open rates.
Okay.
One more question. Because of email laws, we need to keep unsubscribe button at the bottom. So is it Sales Handy automatically provide that, or there is any other service we need to use for that unsubscribe feature?
Yes, you can automatically insert unsubscribe link, and we also recommend inserting the unsubscribe links in the cold emails that you send. It will save you from uh, your prospects marking you as a spam. So your recipient would prefer to unsubscribe from the emails better than marking as a spam. You also want your prospects not to mark as a spam. So it's advisable to keep unsubscribe links. And yes, Sales and E provides that option to have an unsubscribe link in your cold emails.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks a bit.
Hello. Hi, Dhruv. Thanks for your presentation. This is Rajesh. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Rajesh, go ahead.
So Dhruv, I joined a bit late, so some of the things I've got, but like, can can you share some pricing details for, like, suppose if we want to use this kind of tool for our organization?
For sure. So if you really want to send cold emails, you can send out for Sales and E itself, and it comes at $29 a month per user, and that also includes the email finding, LinkedIn email finding tool that I have shown in the presentation. So it is as low as just $29 per month per user.
And Dhruv, any discount for GESIA members?
If GESIA members are getting results out of the sequences, then for sure we would love to discuss more about discounts on call.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey Dhruv, Kishore here. Actually, the numbers you shared with us, like the prospect, the open rate, the reply rate, the positive reply, the email address which you use is a personalized email, or some of them are the sales one or info one. Then, because the numbers you are shared, like generally I'm using the MailChimp for the bulk emails, and currently I'm getting around 25 to 30% open rate, and the click ratio is about around, we can say, 1.5 to 2%, or maximum 2.5. So I'm unable to recent cop up this number. So I just want to clarify this thing.
Yeah, sure. So can you help me understand what type of emails and to whom you are sending this emails? Is it a marketing emails or is it a one-to-one email that you are sending?
No, it's a marketing email. For example, I'm talking about that we are dealing in a product business, right? We have our WordPress plugins, and we are promoting our customized services to them, right? So initially, the thing is that after, we can say, uh, purchasing the product, after 30 days, I set up around, we can say, 4 or 5 email chain automation series, and to promote our customization services to them, right? And initially, we, in the first 25 to 30 days, we just go through about our product information, and we can sending them the guidance and all of the stuff. So it's impacted on that reason, because the thing is that after 30 days, I'm sending the emails of automation trees for the customization, right? Before than that, we are sending a couple of emails for the product guidance, product, we can say, reference and reviews. So it may be, we can say, is the numbers of emails around the fifth or sixth emails uh, may be sent to that customer. So it, there may be a reason. But did you get my point? What I
Okay,
want to say?
so yeah, I got your point. So you are saying that you are sending out emails, kind of an drip emails after your prospect is getting into customer. He is purchasing your WordPress extension, maybe. You are
Yes,
sending drip emails to introduce about features, and later on you are pitching the additional services to your uh, customers.
customers. Yes,
Kind of an upselling you are doing, right? So
yes.
in this case, I would advise that for all the marketing emails or maybe feature introductory emails that you send, you can use HTML email templates, which is fancy in design, and maybe which will help your customers know more about your product. You can send out from Mailchimp maybe, but for upselling
Mm,
or for maybe for a personal one-to-one introduction to your customer, you can use the plain text email using Sales ND, and you can follow
Mm-hmm.
the best practices that I shared to get higher open and reply rate. And absolutely, this is the use case that you should use Sales ND for upselling. In order to upsell the existing customer, you have to personalize it a lot based on what customer you are reaching out to. So there can be multiple type of customers you must be dealing with, right? So try to personalize as much
Yes.
as possible for the specific type of customers. And I'm sure we can together work on this particular exercise and increase your open rate, that is 20% from MailChimp to maybe around 40-50% gradually.
Yes, because the thing is that the emails which we are sending them, they are our own customers. It's not like the cold data, right?
Yeah,
They already are using our product. So of course they are aware about the thing. So I think
correct,
so we need to get some more results and more
correct.
open rates from there.
So as I mentioned, sending settings are the most crucial step. So when you are sending emails, too many emails at once from this kind of systems like Mailchimp or others, you have to make sure that you have a proper setting, proper configuration. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe we can work together, and we can do this proper setup before sending out the cold emails that you are sending from before sending out the emails to your existing customers. uh, I'm sure me and my success team can together work on your email copies and your sending uh, infrastructure that you have, and we can optimize it to the level wherein you can get around at least around 40-50% of open rate.
Yeah, it's a great. So I will do one thing. I will approach to you once uh, complete our conversation, right? So if you can share me your email address, so I can share my details to you, right? Or
Sure. So it's
Sure,
you visit
my email address
sales
is
and
yeah,
yeah,
Dhruv
no,
at
go
Sales
ahead.
ID.
yeah, what's your email address?
Yeah,
Through.
Dhruv@saleshandy.com.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Any other
where
questions?
exactly your office is located? And
Uh, our office is in Chandkheda, Ahmedabad.
okay, thanks for your time.
Yeah. What's your good
We
name?
have a
I
couple of
can't read it there. If you can help,
Yeah,
I
my
can.
name is Kishore Patel.
Kishore Patel. Okay. Thank you so much, Kishore.
Yes, yeah,
so we have a couple of more minutes left. So if you want to take advantage of Dhruv's time, so feel free to ask questions.
Just to one thing, I just have to point. I mean, that Amit Patel here. So just share this presentation and recording link, and also, if possible, see your the application also, right? The lead management software. I mean, it's kind of CRM. So send me that. Can you give us a trial version or something? I mean, for 7 days or a few weeks. I mean, at least we can explore it
Yeah,
and we'll see whether it's we can purchase or not. I mean, it's we can really it's going to be fruitful to us or not. Okay. Thank you.
yeah, sure. You can. So we have a 14-day free trial if you are signing up on Sales ND from the website itself. So you can sign up from the website. I'll share the URL. Just a moment.
Perfect.
Let me show
And
you
that is
some.
all mentioned in the PPT, right? So in the group we can space the PPT
Yeah,
and
it is all there.
recording. Yeah, PPT and recording link you can send over there, so we all can get it from there.
Sure, sure. So if just in case if you missed, you can reach out to Tirup. He's a Geisha
Thiru,
person and
I know,
Tirup,
I
yeah.
know, I know, Thiru. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you can reach out to Tirup so he can help.
All right. I'll reach out to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Amit.
Thank you.
So any more question for Dhruv? Okay. Yeah, Chirag, you want to ask something? Okay. Thirup, any closing remarks?
Yes, Jadibai. Uh, we would like to request participants to turn on their camera for a minute or two so that we can take a picture of this memory. And thank you all for joining on this Saturday.
Perfect. Here I am. Dhruv, if you can stop sharing your screen.
Yeah, I stopped it.
Okay. So Thirup, we need to say cheese.
Yes, everyone.
We all are smiling, Thirup.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Abel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And thank you all for joining. And we'll try to host this kind of roundtable every month, at least every month. Or so, if you have any question further, or if you want us to host particular subject, so just reach out to me. Just drop me a line. You can find me on internet Jaydip Parikh, JYDIPPRIKH, on LinkedIn or Twitter. You just drop me request. I'll try to find a relevant speaker for that topic, and we'll host one more round table. And thanks too much. I mean, too many thanks to Dhruv and Piyush for sparing your time and this really knowledge bombs you throw. So at least I mean, we need a week to digest this all the gyan we got from you. Thanks for you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot for listening me.
Anytime, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see
Thank
you.
you.
Enjoy weekend, and let's be in touch online. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.